This is the Infinity Summit Group. Truth, passion, success. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Infinity Summit Group podcast. This is going to be part 2 of the 13 principles of prosperity. So, we did the second part already, not last week, but about 2 weeks ago, and it got deleted off my computer, so
How did that happen? Was
here.
that like a corrupted file?
Yeah, I'm not sure. So what happens is it just like crashes sometimes, and it always brings back my save, but this time it didn't. So when I was trying to edit it, it like crashed on me while I was trying to edit the episode. And
Have you taken precautions against it?
yeah,
since?
yes. So I've been copying the file twice, saving it extra amounts, just trying to make sure that doesn't happen again. But that, that's a very real thing that happens, and it loses a lot of progress, because I was about 2 hours into editing that and lost about 2 hours of that. So that was a little frustrating, but, we're back here doing it again. So,
By the way, listeners, if you don't know, the one who introduced the podcast is Xavier. I'm Noah. Got Logan here and Jesse.
Woo, hi.
What's up?
all right. So we're on principle 8.
Yes, exchange creates wealth. So the basis of this principle is that each exchange is given. We'll say you exchange $1 for a candy bar, right? You wanted the candy bar more than you wanted that $1, and vice versa. The person giving you the candy bar wanted your $1 more than they wanted the candy bar. This is how you both win, quote unquote win-win. It creates wealth in both of your eyes, because you end up coming out of the deal wealthier than when you went into it. So as you're exchanging goods and services and money, that exchange creates wealth for both parties. That's kind of the basis of that principle.
That's pretty
Yeah, he
easy
talks about that too, I think, in his lectures, saying that no exchange should be a winner and a loser. Everybody should win in every exchange. So someone's always trading something that they deem less valuable than what they want, or that's how it should be, at least.
By the way, as a refresher, we are talking about Rick Kerber, who is the mastermind behind the 13 Principles of Prosperity. Yeah. And you're saying he talks about that?
Yeah, it should always be a win-win for every party instead of a win-lose, or, it should always be mutually beneficial instead of a winner and a loser and everything.
Keep that in mind. When you are selling something, when you are buying something, when you're investing in things, make sure that you're not the only one walking away with food at the end of the day, right? Make sure you're not the only one eating dinner that night. Everyone, as the saying goes, everybody eats, and then you're happy. So it's it's a good principle.
I think it's kind of messed up when people will sell you like something that they don't believe in. You know what I mean? Like, I could never see myself getting into a business and start selling things that are like trash products to people, like kind of tricking them.
Yeah,
I think that's kind of messed up that a lot of companies will do that.
That's hard. I have a sales job, and it's if the customer tries to buy something, because I give them all their options, right? I just put it out nice and honest. I work in garage doors. I repair garage doors, so I put it out nice and honest. And if the customer chooses something that's kind of an inferior product, I don't feel good about giving it to them, but it is their choice because I introduced all the options, So it's an upfront way to do it, but I always feel bad when they choose the inferior product over something that could be better for them.
It is tricky too, like, when you're serving people and they kind of ask you about the menu and they're like, well, is this good? It's tricky because it's like, it's not good to me.
Yeah.
But, you might like it. So, I don't know. It's tricky with, like, sales. I'm not very into it. I just tell them the truth. Like, yeah, I would probably stay away from that. I don't like it. And I find that people will respect your honesty more than if you just tell them, oh, yeah, that's good. Everything on the menu is good. It's like if you say, yeah, that's not very good, they'll be
Yeah.
like, thank you for your honesty. I've had them say that several times.
Yeah.
People do that with sponsorships too, like through YouTube or whatever. They'll promote items that they don't use or don't believe in,
Yeah.
which is just it just feels weird. It's not right.
Let's make a rule to not do that.
Agreed.
To not promote anything lest we actually believe in it or believe in the.
It's one of the principles for us already, which is practice what you preach. So
Mhm.
Amen.
it's
Truth.
already, yeah.
Yes. Built upon truth.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. So, yeah, we'll just make sure that we believe in a product if we are to promote it and actually either use it or like what they're about. So,
Mm-hmm.
anyway, on to principle 9. Profit is the tool of validation. Basically, this one's saying that when you're starting a business, when you're running a business, you're creating a good or a service out there in the world, you can't know that you're actually providing value for anyone until you start making profit. That's what reflects basically the dollars follow where the goods are. So you create something, and if you're not making any money, that means nobody wants it. You're making profit, that's validation that yes, people actually do want this and it is actually adding value to their lives. Profit is a tool of validation.
It's a pretty straightforward one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
not
that's
too
not
bad.
saying like give up soon if you're not making money.
Yeah,
Like if you believe in
not
your
at all.
product, like keep pushing, and then eventually, it'll catch on,
Well,
or it won't.
yeah, it's a fine line to walk. Do I go just a little bit further, or do I stop now because I'm in too deep?
Yeah,
That's the tricky part. It's like, how do you know when to like call it quits or
Well,
when to
it's-
keep pushing?
It's
Well,
a fine line to walk. That's all it is.
Yeah, I'll have you know that the average startup business takes about 7 years to start becoming profitable.
Mm-hmm.
So that's very interesting. And that's 7 years is about the same length as a market cycle, by the way,
Really?
which we're very much over the market cycle time right now. But that's yeah. Turn that down. Okay. On to principle 10. Productivity is the standard. This one is super important, especially for me. I mean, if you're out in the world, you're working, you're coming home, you're sitting on the couch and then sleeping, it's not a very productive life. I mean, work, you can be productive at work. You do make money, yada yada. That's awesome. However, if you are productive in all areas of your life, you're going to be way more successful than if you weren't. It's a big thing to, not work, but be productive on the weekends, be productive at night, be productive just whenever you can, while keeping a reasonable amount of time set aside for yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
You just can't forget that self-care.
Budgeting your time correctly, basically.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly. So, just don't forget that if you do have stewardship over a certain, we'll say your house, I'm not going to say that you have stewardship over your wife or vice versa, your husband, because nobody owns one another, but you do have stewardship over them in the sense that it is important for you to take care of them. So you're always productive in those senses, keeping yourself going towards a goal that is, as Jordan Peterson would put it, better than the previous day, right?
Yeah.
Each day you try to improve a little more, be a little more productive, yada yada, and that will become your new standard, and that's how you reach that success milestone that you're shooting for.
It's hard to do a fine line though between, just going to work every day and then coming home and doing absolutely nothing. Or actually being productive. It's tough.
That's the thing is you have to want it.
Yeah.
You really have to want it.
Yeah, Ark's a devil, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I would know.
But
It's yeah, any of those things, any sort of hobby, anything can become detrimental if you don't have moderation in all things, as the saying goes.
Depends on the hobby, I feel like. If it's a hobby that's like a crafting hobby, something like a skill, because skills can be hobbies.
Yeah.
And maybe not doing it excessively, but putting a lot of time into a craft, that's a skill and it's a hobby, it's like, yeah,
Well,
I see that as being productive.
I don't like that way of thinking because it's like saying playing sports is better than video games. You're just working different skills. Like Arc, for example, I mean, your social skills have got to be up there if you want to join a big group. I mean, you got to
Oh,
have
yeah.
communication through the roof.
Mhm.
It's just you're working different things, and I don't like the prioritization of one thing over the other because it just feels picky choosy, and this is wrong because I said it's wrong instead of
Yeah, but see, I think it depends on every person. Like, if you want better communication skills, then maybe arc. But if you want to like work your body out and get fit, then that's more playing sports, and that would be in more of the realm that I would care about. You know,
And
be
again,
like, okay, this is physically helping me.
and
that's
again,
what I
there's
mean. It's you're not prioritizing one thing over the other for other people,
Mhm.
but for yourself, it's what you want. You know,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Yeah, and there's always that caveat again is moderation in all things. If you're spending all your time working on your skills, spending all your time playing arc, spending all your time, doing sports, then there's other things that are gonna be lacking. Your relationships with your family, with your friends, your wife, whatever.
Arc is a video game, by the way.
Yes,
Didn't say that.
Yeah, it's called Ark Survival Evolved. It is a black hole and such a good time. But yeah, it's that. If I were to say I ever had a drug that I was addicted to, it would be Ark. That was, yep. You'd get into it, and wake up 2 months later, every time.
It's a bad habit.
It's
That's
all
so
fun
fun.
though.
It is so fun.
We gotta get paid for promoting this game. Just kidding. I'll see if there's an affiliate link for it. No, it is. I mean, if you haven't played it, I'd recommend it, or I would stay away from it.
If you're married, don't do it. There's some guy that I play with that got a divorce.
Yeah, if you're
Over the
married or in a
game?
relationship,
serious.
don't play Ark.
Literally, they got in a divorce.
It put a
Whoa.
strain every time I would
That's
go into
brutal.
it because I'd never hang out with
Yeah.
my fiance. It was I mean, didn't put a strain, we'll say, but it was like, she noticeably didn't get any time with me. So it was interesting. Anyways, we were on productivity is the standard. Excuse me. Principle number 10. Productivity is the standard. Moral of the story, moderation in all things. Be productive when you can without trying to be productive so much it's a detriment to you. Just with anything in life. And with that, we'll shoot on to what's that?
Doing it with groups too, like being productive with groups or going, I don't know, with friends helps a lot to get you more motivated, especially with the gym or something. When we used to do it,
That was
and I
so
think
fun.
Jakey came too, maybe.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, like that would get us to do it every day, and it was just fun. So I don't know, get a group of friends if you're gonna do something.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you struggle.
Most definitely. We should start something like that up again.
Yeah, we should.
I
That
don't
was
go to
fun.
the gym ever. We
Yeah.
need to.
Yeah, I never. Maybe once.
Yeah.
Lifting weights, screw cardio.
It's fun. Anyway, yes, productivity is the standard. If you find a productivity group, that is going to be your best bet at staying productive. I mean, that's how we've kept up the Infinity Summer group since April, I suppose, huh?
Yeah.
Is when we officially restarted.
Yep.
Been kept accountable for that. There's been times of high energy and low energy, but through it all, we've still stuck together, and here we are. And every Monday for us is rejuvenating, at least for me.
It is. It's like
I
a
love it,
breath of
yeah.
fresh air. You gotta go
That's nice.
Yeah,
do something. I don't
I
know.
love coming to podcast. Even just feeling like you're adding some sort of value to the world and
Being productive.
yeah, being productive. Exactly. No, it's and it's fun to see everyone too. I mean, you guys are awesome, and it's been fun to watch us all grow together just in these few months.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we're all doing oodles better financially than we ever have.
Mm-hmm.
For the
Very
most part.
true.
Yes,
Very
true.
true.
Okay. I was gonna say, I know the bars just had another mandate where they have
Oh,
to
yeah.
shut down early, but you're still doing Gucci, huh?
Dude, I've been just picking up extra shifts.
Oh, yeah.
This is the 7th day I've worked in a row.
Heck yeah.
So
I guess if you can't work as many nights, you just got to work more days.
yeah, exactly. I worked
works.
this morning. Literally went home, changed my shirt, and came here. So like, yeah,
And
it's
I-
been a grind.
And I've been working 6-day weeks,
Yeah.
almost nonstop for the past month or so. So it's been
That's
been
brutal.
fun.
Yeah.
I hate working more than 5 days in a week.
Yep.
Well, that's a
Weekends
good
are
thing
my
you don't
time.
have to.
That is a good
I don't
thing.
have to either, but I figure the more money I can make, the better, and then I'll be a winner. So
Yeah.
and it's been paying off. It's been awesome. So yeah. Anyway, productivity is the standard. That was number 10. On to number 11. Ooh, another one of my favorites. Force destroys freedom and prosperity.
COVID.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we can bring up COVID. However, we can also talk about Russia and China
Oh yeah.
when they decide to go communist.
And
They
Venezuela.
and Venezuela. Yep. Except I don't know as much about Venezuela.
And
sadly.
every country that America's put a dictator in.
They're eating their pets.
Yummy.
What place right now is like
oh no, Fido.
having a lot of people starve to death? Was that Italy or something?
I don't know.
That
People starving. I know they think people are going
Yeah.
to. I think they
Oh,
wasn't like
projected
2
in the
million
yeah, like
or
There's
so.
predicted lots of people gonna starve.
That's so.
America's
I
not
just
making food.
I was just talking to somebody today, and I didn't give away my position because like it's somebody I work with, so I didn't want to be like, "Yo, you're wrong." But like
Yeah.
I was like, "What do you think about socialism?" And they're like, "Oh, it works pretty well, but over in Europe, they're doing extremely well right now." I'm like,
Oh Lord.
Are you sure?
Yeah, like I don't think so.
What do you know about socialism?
Yeah. Well, and all of them are like, dude, capitalism is the problem. I'm like, dude, do you like your iPhone? Do you like your clothes? Do you like all your stuff? They're like, yeah.
Do you like being able
Capitalism.
to walk outside after 10 p.m.?
Yeah. It's like, how do you get more stuff? Capitalism. I was actually watching the Elon Musk podcast with Joe Rogan, and
He's gonna be nasty rich very soon here
yes, he will.
because they're going on the S&P 500.
Where's
And
that?
So
Public
right now,
investing, right? Something like
Huh?
that. Is it public investing now, or
well,
how does that work?
no, it was already public. It was on the Nasdaq, I believe, which is just a platform for publicly traded companies. But they're also joining the S&P 500, which is another platform. That's the index of the top 500 companies in the world. So they're joining that. I think mid-December or something, maybe
Really?
end of December, and it's projected that they're going to get another $100 billion
Holy
out of that.
crap.
As far as investments go. So,
That's gnarly.
yeah, I know a kid who's been, I think just this year Tesla's gone up $300 to $500.
Yeah, the stock has jumped.
It's been insane this year. So,
He's definitely making a lot of money.
and they're going to continue jumping a lot. And the crazy thing about it, both Tesla and Amazon have been making oodles of money as far as the companies go. The crazy thing is that the owners, I think their net worth grows because their stocks grow because they're a major shareholder in the company, right? But I don't think their actual income grows all that much. It's just their net worth that balloons like crazy, and to get where they are, they can't be stupid with their money.
Yeah, so they send it all pretty much back
I-
into it.
I don't think Jeff Bezos really gets that much in salary and stuff.
No.
Because I was looking into how Amazon works and why they don't pay so much taxes.
Yeah.
It's because every time, if they go over their budget or whatever, they just put every dime into getting into a new field. Like, instead of having extra profits, it's we're going to put $100 million into robotics. Why not? We'll do that until it's up and making us money, and then we'll pick the next company and
Yeah,
just
it's
do that
such
until
a genius company.
Yeah.
They've got
it's
anywhere
crazy.
from
He was-
music to videos, everything.
That's the person he was mentioning that's like an evil person. He's like, yeah, Jeff Bezos is evil.
Yeah, no.
I was like, why? It's like, because he has all this money and he's not giving it
He's
to
not
people.
giving it away.
I'm like,
Yeah.
it's not his
I don't
fu-
know how it works. He actually doesn't have that much money.
I don't know
Well,
anything.
obviously he's filthy rich. One
Yeah,
way or
yeah,
another,
he's
he's
filthy
very rich.
He's yeah.
However, it's not. I mean, I saw a post the other day. It was like if Jeff Bezos gave away $105,000 per employee he has, then he would still have as much money as he had before the quarantine. And it's like, no, you don't know how it works.
You don't know how business
all
works.
all that net worth that he grew by, quote unquote, is because his stocks grew.
Yeah.
And his company grew. They purchased more assets, whatever. He himself does not have that much money.
Yeah.
They like to conflate net worth with liquid cash.
Yeah,
Like, I
it's
can
crazy.
just drop $1 billion right now. 'Cause
Nobody has
that's
$1
what my net
billion
worth is.
anywhere.
And the whole thing where it's like, well, they're this rich and they're only paying their employees $7.50 an hour. It's like, bro,
Do you know how many families they provide for, though?
Yeah, how many
Yeah.
jobs that is?
Yep.
Like, ugh.
Listen up. Just be quiet.
Yeah, bad things
Yeah.
happen when people think they know what they're talking about and don't. Like Ocasio-Cortez made a Amazon leave her district. She lost 40,000 jobs. She put 40,000 people out of a job, still got elected. How's that? That can't
That
be.
is impressive.
They're stupid. You got to be stupid.
Does
I
she
don't-
live in Cali?
She's like a good
New
tumor.
York?
A what?
That
Said
sucks.
she's like a good tumor. Kills everything around her and keeps growing. Anyway, yeah, it's crazy what people think that way. It's, you know, and to bring this back around to the principles of force destroys freedom and prosperity, this is exactly, or we'll say a similar situation to what happened in Russia and China, is that people saw that there was people wealthier than them, and they said, hey, that's not fair. I want some wealth. Everyone should have a fair share. And so they went and they pillaged, raped, and plundered these little bit wealthier farmers, which was, you know, a middle class approximate.
Mm-hmm.
And the politicians were fueling the flames. Yeah, they're bad. Middle and high class is bad. And so the average citizen went out and pillaged them all, and ended up, you know, a couple years down the road, everyone ended up starving in a communist society. You lost tens of millions of lives. And that's exactly where we're headed if we don't reverse something soon, you know. You take away the media, you take away, or excuse me, not take away, but you own the media, you own and take away guns, you take away the people who actually know what they're doing with money and the economy and society, and what are you left with? Your average Joe that doesn't know how a truck gets him food to his table, you know?
Yeah, that's the thing with Elon Musk that I was talking about. He said this idea of where, like, people think, like, the market is just a black hole of just prosperous stuff, like, that just creates stuff out of a black hole. And, like,
no.
it doesn't work like that. There's actually, you have to make stuff for there to be stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
Or
Agreed.
it's the force destroys freedom. If you like socialism, you have to do this, and you only get this much. I mean, what if I'm getting the same as whether I do harder work or less work?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna work hard. I'm
And-
gonna do the least I can because I'm getting the same anyways.
slack off.
There's no
Mhm.
benefit to anybody for me working hard.
That's the other thing in communism. Exactly. Their motto is work to your ability and earn to your need, something like that.
Yeah.
So you work just as hard as you possibly can, which is different for every single person, and then they each earn the same amount or less because of what they need according to the government.
It's like, I think I already, like, maybe I've said this on another podcast, but it's like the lion in the cage. He's got everything he needs. He's got vaccines. He'll probably live a lot longer. But then you've got the lion who's free in the wild. A lot more risks, a lot more danger. But would you rather be the free lion or the one in the cage?
Oh yeah.
That's a simple.
You can vote your way into communism, but you're going to have to shoot your way out.
Yeah. Yep.
Exactly. Oh, jeez.
All right.
Anyway, on to principle 12. that other one gets me a little bit heated. Collective action has no unique moral authority. So, these rioters, it does not make it more right for them to riot and plunder just because they're in a group and they claim that it's morally correct.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
The government is too.
Yeah, the government is too.
Yes,
and a lot
you
of those
go.
are like, yeah, woohoo. It's no longer, what is it, in Oregon? It's no longer a crime to riot
No,
as
it's
long
not.
as you're not harming people.
Yeah.
No, even if you harm people, I've seen it. People they don't prosecute anybody that was caught at
But,
a
like,
riot.
the
Oh yeah,
laws
but
were
that
changed.
was like officially, yeah, it's changed.
Laws
to
were
that.
changed.
Laws were.
It's
Where
okay to
you-
riot and like
It's okay to riot and break things. You just can't hurt people. But they still get away with hurting people.
Well, you hurt people
pathetic.
when you destroy their business. That's
Oh,
hurting
yeah.
somebody.
Yeah.
oh they have
Just
insurance.
like we're taxed when
they have insurance.
we're
don't
given
worry.
stimulus packages in a tax called inflation, but
Yeah.
that's a secondary effect. It's not actively in the eyes of the law.
Yeah, I see.
Your taxes aren't being raised. You're not committing a crime. You're not hurting anybody. Yeah.
It's all okay.
Yep.
Could almost argue destroying people's businesses is way worse than hurting someone. You're destroying how they live. I mean,
Yeah,
not just for
destroying their
them too,
livelihood
for
and
their
for their
families and
family.
the people they employ.
Mhm.
It's way more detrimental than maybe one person getting a little hurt.
Jeez, bro, just break his arm. Don't break his business.
It sounds stupid, but I mean,
sounds
you're
stupid.
affecting way more
Yeah,
people
well,
the
yeah.
other way.
Like, if you think about it, if you put 10 years into a business, would you rather, like, break an arm or, like, have all your business, all that 10 years of work get
Demolished,
just
yeah.
destroyed? Like,
You're-
Well,
what?
I think we could solve this problem if there was more gun carrying Americans.
Yep. Unless,
Fair enough.
We need more heroes like Kyle Rittenhouse. I
That
said-
I don't know that story.
Little sketchy.
I
but
don't know
yeah.
anything about that story, so
I
I'm not
agree.
going
I'm
to
still on
comment.
his side, but he's a little.
Look,
Situation's a little funky.
He was defending his own.
Listen,
from
it's not that.
area
It's that he had a gun when he shouldn't have. Basically,
All right.
that's what I'm bothered
That-
by.
His friend bought it for him, and the government paid for it.
Yeah, I'm just saying he wasn't allowed to buy the gun, and his friend bought it for him and gave it
yes.
to him. That's why I don't
Yeah, he-
really love the situation. But other than that, I think he was
shouldn't have had
completely
the gun.
correct.
Yeah.
That was the only shady part to me as well. However, as far as his actions and what transpired, I don't think he was in the wrong as far as that goes.
Oh,
The fact that he
absolutely
had a
not.
gun in the first place definitely shouldn't have happened. However, the fact that he had it, I mean, thank the Lord for his safety at the time, you know. Although he likely wouldn't have been that. Anyway,
All right.
he
For
likely
the,
wouldn't have been there without a gun anyway.
for the
but-
classmates that don't know the story, can you sum it
Oh,
up
yeah,
real
sorry.
quick?
So this kid, he's a 17-year-old kid.
Mhm.
He went to these riots
In Wisconsin.
in Wisconsin. Okay.
Kenosha?
To
Is it
Kenosha. Yeah.
Kenosha, Wisconsin.
Kenosha.
Right.
Anyway, he went to these riots to perform medical aid. He's like some
An RN or something?
some
Or he
RN in
had been
training, something like
yeah.
that.
Okay.
Anyway, he was there with med pack around his side and everything, but he also had an AR-15 with him.
hmm
So he was there. He said, and he was caught on video saying this, just like this is only just in case it gets ugly. I am here to provide medical aid, and so he's providing medical aid. Sometime later in the night, stuff gets wild. Some people came after him. There were shots fired in the background. I don't know if they freaked out or he freaked out. There was something weird happening there. They started chasing him. One of them had a gun, one of them had a skateboard, and one of them
I think it's just trying to beat him up.
was just trying to beat him up. Yeah. Anyway, there's 3 guys chasing him. He runs away. He trips, and they get him. They start wailing on him. He shoots a guy.
In the head?
Yeah, shot a guy in the head.
In
There's
the
another guy
chest.
coming after him, shot him in the chest, and another dude came after him, shot him in the arm.
Whoa.
That was
Yeah.
the guy
All
with the
three.
pistol.
So
that
he
he
killed
shot his arm.
the guy with the pistol. He shot his arm. So, I mean,
The police were right there. He was literally running to the police.
yeah.
Mm.
And then he
You see it
ran
on
to them
video.
as soon as that was over with. He ran to the police and said, I surrender. And they were actually walking past him because he didn't look like a rioter.
Mhm.
At first, he was like, "What the heck,"
Yeah.
But he ended up getting turned in. He had a $2 million bail that got paid for by some larger companies. They're like,
Oh.
no, this kid did what he did was right in this situation.
If somebody was coming after me with that, as like 3 people, and
likely
I had a
would've shot
gun,
him,
I
too.
would have shot him.
Agreed.
I would've-
I think he was entirely justified in that. The only thing that is slightly sketchy is the fact that he had a gun in the first place.
Illegally.
Exactly.
Because he was 17, right?
Exactly.
He can own a gun. It's just that he gave his friend his stimulus check to buy it. That his friend bought it for him illegally. So he can
Ah.
have a gun. The process to which he got it was illegal.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Because
Just
you
like
can
I
own a
can
gun
own-
starting at 16, right?
Because I can own a pistol,
A handgun,
but
yeah.
my dad has to buy it for me. I can't give him any money for it.
It has to be
Right.
gifted.
Yeah,
Yep.
gifted. But the issue was, he gave him his stimulus check and
Oh,
he bought it for him.
I'm pretty sure he was defending was it the car dealership? From
Yeah, it
them
was a
burning
car
it
Yeah,
down?
he was defending a local business from
Yeah.
being broken into and demolished
Yeah.
because the car dealership right across from it got burned down,
Hero.
Yeah, exactly. It was him and another dude defending it, and probably a couple more guys, but that's who was in the video.
And what
That
did you
was the-
think was going to happen?
chasing a dude with a gun.
Yeah, that's a terrible idea.
They're already stupid. I think 2 out of the 3 of them, maybe all 3 of them, were sex offenders.
I
true.
think I heard something about
But
that.
they're heroes. Oh, boy.
They're
Oh
all
my
white
goodness.
too.
Oh.
Oh, snap.
Anyway, basically, he's in a heap of trouble with the law. there's people fighting against and for both sides. Just
Is that still going on? Because I heard about that. I just didn't know the full story.
It's like big
Oh,
deal
yeah.
right now. Yeah,
he's
in the
he's
courts.
going to be seeing this case go on for years. I'll bet you.
That's depressing. Honestly,
Yeah,
that
it is
sucks.
should be illegal, right? You have the right to a fair and speedy trial, not years long.
Well,
the government takes forever to do anything.
death row inmates, their average time on death row is 10 to 15 years.
Why?
That's crazy.
Fair and
Why?
speedy trial, my butt.
I'll just
I'd
end
be
myself.
more worried for his
Yeah.
friend.
You're
He's
gonna kill me anyway.
He's going
Yeah.
away.
Yeah,
His
His
friend
friend
is
probably.
getting
I bet he ends
screwed.
up getting off pretty light, and then his friend is screwed.
Oh, he's so he's 19 years old. He's straight to prison.
Oh, that's too bad. Truly, all of it's too bad.
Yeah.
Just like the fact that we have these situations right now in our country is insane.
The cruddy part is that kid that bought him his gun was probably like, didn't even cross his mind that he's just gonna go shoot someone. You're like, oh, I can help out a friend. I mean, he's only a year
he
away.
just wants to defend himself, whatever, you know.
Then he goes and kills someone, and you go to prison, and you're like, well,
Yeah, which is insane.
yeah.
Hmm.
It's a little
It's a
wild.
tricky situation.
Moral of the story: if you're gonna gift a firearm, make sure you have the certificate of gifting,
Mhm.
and make sure that you don't get any money for it.
Yes,
Yep.
no money for it.
Yep.
Zero trail.
Yeah.
Don't leave a paper trail.
No, just don't.
It's
Yeah,
just a
make sure you
gift.
don't receive any compensation for it, because it's not worth it if they end up shooting someone like that and you end up going to prison for it. Stupid.
Not worth it.
All right. So collective action has no unique moral authority. Once again, rioting, all of that is not morally okay just because there's a lot of people doing it.
Pretty solid. Like, just because your friends are jumping off a cliff doesn't mean you should.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's pretty good advice. Just because it's illegal for you to beat someone on the sidewalk doesn't make it legal for you and your friends to beat someone on the sidewalk. You know. So-
And you probably shouldn't be hanging out with them if they're doing that.
Yeah.
Just get
Yeah.
better
If they
friends.
just all wouldn't hang out with bad influences, we wouldn't have riots.
Yeah, that's true.
They all just rile each other up. All right. On to Principle 13, now that we've beat 12 to death. So Principle 13 is personal liberty requires private property. This one's important, and it relates to communism. What they did what communism is that everything is owned by the government. Property, your person, everything. It's owned by the government. You have no say in the matter. What we have different here is that, yes, the government can make laws pertaining to, like, our, we'll say, taxes and things like that. But there's a couple things they can't do, and that is infringe on your rights. That is what this country was founded upon, is that your rights are your basic form of freedom.
God-given and inalienable.
Yeah, that's
No
a
one can
good
take
word
it from
for it,
you.
Mr. Jefferson.
Yeah.
And the smallest unit of private property is oneself. So you have the right to govern yourself. That's what we have here in America, and that's what's kept us afloat for so long and a light to other nations.
That's the major issue with masks. Is you're taking
Oh,
away
yeah.
my right to govern myself. It's not that I don't think that they don't work. It's that you think that you can tell me what I have to do.
Yep,
Mhm.
and that's
It
what
has nothing
America's
to do with
founded upon.
masks.
I love that. It's like, yeah, I'm willing to do something. When they were asking us to mask up, I was like, sweet, yeah, whatever. If you wish me to wear a mask, then I probably can, or I can choose not to, whatever. And then they mandate it, and it's like,
Yeah, no.
yeah,
That,
fuck
that
no.
doesn't mean a law.
Nope.
though. That doesn't mean law.
No.
Still. Just so
Yeah, a
people
mandate
know
is
that.
not a law, just to be clear, guys. That is definitely not the case.
Can you get fined for it though? That's the thing.
If they make fines
Yes,
for it,
just
you
go to
can
court.
get fined for it. Yep.
Go to court and make it
What's
not
the
happen.
definition of that?
That
Because you'll get it 9 times out of 10. I bet you get it thrown out. Because that's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
because then the courts be like, oh, yeah, it's not a law. Okay.
And
know.
unconstitutional, and let's
And
take away your right to
unconstitutional.
ever do this again.
Yeah.
So a mandate, it's an official order or commission to do something. So
Yep.
it's just like a stern
just-
request.
They're demanding us to
Please
do it.
Yeah.
please.
Please do it. With fines involved sometimes.
Thanks, King
It's not even the
Herbert.
government. It's the people that enforce it.
It is the people that enforce it.
It's a big old play, and it's terrible.
Yeah.
They're not one of us. Get them.
Yep. He's a witch.
Classic communism. I'm
Yeah.
telling you.
It's so pretty.
That's what happens.
And it's on that point, it's important to think for yourself and think freely. Don't believe
Yes.
everything everybody tells you. Do your own research. Figure out personally what's best for you. Just because you grew up a certain way does not mean that's the correct way.
I will tell you, as far as individual rights with masks go, however, and businesses, I have seen people who were upset because they were thrown out of businesses or whatever. They wouldn't serve them because they wouldn't wear a mask. Businesses are entirely allowed to do that. Legally, under the law, they are an individual entity. They have as many rights as the individual, except for the right to vote. So,
How about airlines? Are they government or personal? Because they just arrested somebody over the weekend.
most of them are government.
Well,
Like they're owned privately. They're companies, they're corporations, whatever. But the government has bailed out the airlines multiple times throughout history. So, and most of the airline industry, such as like the actual airports themselves, the control towers, a lot of the communication systems is all government and government regulated.
So they can't really do what they did, right? They just arrested somebody for not wearing a mask and kicked him off the plane, or her. I'm not sure.
Yes, actually, because the captain of a plane is like the captain of a ship. They have individual sovereignty over their plane, and they can tell people to arrest someone and get them off the plane.
Oh, okay.
here's the
So,
thing,
that's
going
good
back
to
to the business thing, though.
Yeah.
A lot of businesses don't have a choice.
Yeah, they don't have a choice, and
Like-
that's where it's wrong.
That's where it's wrong.
That's where it's wrong, is that businesses now can get fined $10,000 if an employee isn't wearing a mask.
Yep.
So it's absolutely insane that that's even a thing.
Yeah.
That's
I think they
way
can get
outside.
fined if a customer's not wearing a
Yeah,
mask
yeah,
inside
really.
the store as well.
If we sit somebody that's not like closer than 6 feet, we get fined $10,000.
Jesus Christ.
We have to be so adamant about it. It's ridiculous,
Yeah.
insanely stupid.
Yeah.
Just it's frustrating because it's like, well, the business can't do anything because if you don't have laws or these mandates in place, then you can't open your business.
Yeah.
And it's like it's not even the business, because a lot of the business owners will be like, screw it, I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come
And
in.
then they have
at
a
your own
$10,000
risk.
fine per
Yeah.
occurrence.
Yeah.
But that's how a lot of businesses would be, is just like, yeah, I don't care. You do what you need to do,
That's what I'd be. I'd
Except
probably
the
have
government touched them.
I'd have a sign that says, enter at your own risk.
Mm-hmm.
Some people in here won't be wearing masks.
Yep.
It's your choice to enter.
Yep. Exactly.
especially at a bar, everyone's drinking and stuff. No one cares.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, why are you going to a bar in the first place if you're worried about getting a disease?
For real.
Like,
if you're worried
And-
about COVID,
yeah,
why are
bars
you
are-
going?
For
disgusting.
social. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for social.
For social commingling, we'll say. But yeah, it's insane. The businesses now are too terrified to do anything because the government's cracked down on them so hard, and they're afraid to be shut
Not
down and
only-
all this jazz.
The government has. Other companies will jump on you, and other people will jump on
That's
you, and
true.
they ruin your name,
Mhm.
Yep.
and you get financially ruined by the government, and you get socially ruined by your peers.
Yes, it is insanity out there right now, and absolutely against everything that America stands for. We recently had a mandate that was talking about the gatherings for Thanksgiving. Tried to
Mhm.
limit gatherings for Thanksgiving. That is
Supreme Court
against
threw that out.
good, because it's
Yeah, 'cause
against
they
the
can
First
fuck right
Amendment.
off.
Yeah.
The First Amendment of the Constitution, the law of the freaking land.
Well, a big
know?
reason they stopped doing that is because a lot of people went and showed up at Herbert's house
Good.
and was
Good.
like
It's like-
protesting at his house and be like, "What are you freaking doing?" And then after
Yeah,
that, he's like,
we know where you
"Yeah,
live."
never mind.
They
You're
did
good."
that 'cause, Gavin Newsom in California, he had his the curfew, so they all
I
showed up
saw
at his
that.
house. Tons of people.
They showed up
walking
to his
around.
house
people
after the curfew, and like
Wait, there was a curfew?
Yeah.
10 p.m.
10 p.m., dude.
That's why he
In
mentioned
California.
it earlier.
That's why I mentioned it.
Holy crap!
Literally military rule. It's like
That-
cracking down.
You can't do that. You
No.
cannot do that.
They
No.
did it here for riots.
That's
Yep.
true, but ugh.
Kind of a better reason, but still not.
No,
a
it's-
good
that's
reason.
not a
You
good
can't-
reason at
you
all.
can't do it for COVID. It doesn't like
It's
come
like
out
doesn't
more
I'm
at
stop.
talking
night.
before the riots.
Yeah.
Riots
Ugh.
makes at least sense because you're like, well, if they're doing it at 10 o'clock, let's just not let them come out. But then at the
Yeah.
same time, you're imposing
people
on
are
their
still
liberty
gonna
to
What's it
speak
called?
out.
Martial law. That's instituting martial law. That's what it's called. And yes, it's perfectly allowed for violence and wartime and things like that. You can't do it for a freaking virus. Like what?
Yeah, it just stops at 10. What? Just
Yeah, it's extra aggressive after 10, so nobody can come out. Okay.
Yeah.
Because the sunlight disappeared.
And it continues to get record cases, even though more and more people are wearing masks and staying socially
well,
distant.
The flu has disappeared too.
Oh yeah,
Well,
it's gone.
Never seen it before.
Hospitals are counting anything, even if you cough, it's a COVID related because hospitals get money for marking it as COVID.
Thousands of dollars.
Thousands.
It's,
Thousands
it's
of
gotta
dollars.
be like $30,000.
It's
I've
been
seen.
like
It's a
that for a
ton.
while since
And
the start.
you can look this
Jesus
up. This
Christ.
isn't like, oh, conspiracy theory. That actually it happened. It's happening right now. That's a fact.
And listeners, we apologize for talking about COVID every single time. It's just super relevant and super annoying.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
Mind
We'll
your
get
own
over it.
business.
Yeah, exactly. Jesus. So that was way off the topic of personal liberty requires private property, but that's okay.
It was
The
pretty on.
person is
It was
private.
pretty
Yeah.
on. It was pretty on.
Our
the
bodies
topic.
are our property.
Oh yeah, that's true. COVID, personal property.
Nailed it.
I don't have to wear a mask if I don't want to. However, businesses are allowed to. Yes.
If they want, but it's
require it
still wrong if the
if they
government
want.
makes it.
It's still wrong if it's coerced by the government. Exactly. Bam.
Control.
So that would conclude the 13 principles of prosperity.
Yep.
Unless you guys have something else to add.
Nope.
Let's talk about our book that we were reading these past couple weeks. It's called The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. Fantastic book. I personally love it. Every time I read it, probably every 3 months or so, and every time I learn something new, I get new insights. It's kind of a calming book, really short. What is it, 4 to 6 hours, something like that?
It's like
4 hours.
4 hours.
4 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a quick listen.
It's fantastic. I love the lessons in there, the following the omens, kind of listening to your heart, watching for signs in the world that might indicate a path you're supposed to go on, taking this path in your life, and even multiple paths. It's called it's not a spiritual journey. What's it called?
Finding your personal legend.
Personal legend.
legend.
Thank you. Yeah, and you may have multiple personal legends in a lifetime. It's essentially following what you were meant to do in this life, or what you feel you're meant to do in this life, and kind of love the message of the whole thing.
I think it's a really good book if you're trying to find, or kind of if you lose meaning and kind of lose the spark of life, like if you start being like,
Start
okay.
falling into nihilism.
Yeah, nihilism. Like you pick up the book and you're like, hey, I want something to get me refreshed and like be like, okay, yeah, my life actually means something and I want to work towards something, but you don't know like where to start. That's a good book to like pick up and be like, okay, personal legend.
Yeah, love it. And as far as I understand, you guys did not enjoy it as much.
I thought it's all right. I mean, I like it well enough, but not because of the reasons you guys like it. I like it because I like stories.
Oh,
And
okay.
I think it was an interesting story.
Yeah,
Not because of lessons or nothing. I like stories.
Yeah.
And I think it was a good story.
I love the way that it was set up, kind of like The Richest Man in Babylon, where it is telling you a story, but at the same time giving you these life lessons and principles.
Actually, I really do enjoy that format for it.
Oh
It's-
yeah, hides the lessons in the story. It's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
it engages you instead of just shooting you facts right in the face and like this is
Yeah.
what it should be.
Principle 1. Yeah,
Principle 1.
exactly.
And him learning lessons from other people and actually embracing it. It's, kind of a big deal.
And
Being
I like
able to admit if you're wrong. Yeah.
And I like how they kind of humanized him in a way of like he still got annoyed when he was like talking to like certain people and he didn't want to. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't want to talk to this person. It's like he's not a perfect person to begin with, but you see him grow over the course of a 4-hour book into this like person who finds like his
Personal
a
legend.
legend,
and-
yeah.
yeah.
personal legend, soulmate, like riches,
Mm-hmm.
all sorts of stuff because he listened to the omens.
Yes. Follow the omens.
Follow the
I
omens.
love that book. Definitely recommend it, and we'll put a link to that, right?
Yep.
So, yes, our next book that we're working on right now. Did we already mention it last time?
I don't
think
think
in
so.
the last one, the
The one
or
that got
maybe not.
deleted?
No, the last podcast with Jakey.
I don't think so.
Uh,
Oh, maybe. Anyway,
Either way.
Um,
yeah.
just in case it got deleted in the other one we did of the 13 Principles, it is The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod, and we'll be talking about that in a few podcasts from now. It's a fairly decent book. It's got some interesting ways to approach your mornings and your life in general that I quite love, and I've read that one a couple times. About to read it again, and yeah, we'll see where it goes from there. Anything
Alrighty.
else on the 13 Principles or the Alchemist?
Don't think
I
so.
don't think so.
Yeah, I think
All right.
I'm pretty complete.
Okay, we are, as a group, we are working on getting a Patreon. So if you guys want to support us that way, just look forward to that. We'll get links for all that as soon as it's up. You'll be able to get some merch, actually subscribe to something, be able to get some exclusive content, things like that. And then we are also on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We're working on getting a parlor. We're on Minds, Minds, and Pinterest.
Just
Yeah.
about everything, really.
Just about everything that's important, huh?
Yeah, well, and more to come. I still got to get these on SoundCloud and Spotify and all sorts of stuff. So.
Yeah, and we're working on linking a bunch of the products that we actually use. That way you guys can start your own podcast or start your own finance journey if you'd like. And we'd be more than happy to help you guys with any questions you might have that way.
Yeah, we'd love feedback too.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes,
please.
give
Tell
feedback.
us all about our podcast, the good, the bad, and the ugly, We want to
And
know about
share
it.
it if you like it.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Share it. Make sure to share us on, like and subscribe, first of all. We're on YouTube. And then share us. If you guys feel like we're a worthy cause, then go ahead and share us with your friends and see what they think as well. Try to get some value out of it. But other than that, we'll see you guys next week. Thank
See
you
ya.
very much.
Peace out.